Hey Saiko, have you heard of Dave the Diver? A supposed indie game that received excellent reviews when it came out? Is it really as good as they say? Could this be the perfect game? Well, Saiko, let's review it and find out. Meet Dave, a reluctant scuba diver pulled away from his vacation lounging on a beach to satisfy the entrepreneurial whims of his investor boss named Cobra. You see, Cobra discovered what he calls a giant blue hole, which is basically a segment of the ocean which in Dave the Diver's world is populated with an ever-changing array of fish, plants, and other undersea goodies. And what does one do when you have access to an unlimited amount of a large variety of edible delectables? You start a restaurant. Cobra recruits Chef Bancho and forms the Bancho Sushi restaurant. And Dave is tasked with diving and catching fish by day and helping run the restaurant by night. As the days pass, you'll meet new friends, unlock new skills, and go on deep-sea adventures to uncover the mysteries of the giant blue hole. As one would guess, the majority of Dave the Diver's gameplay takes place under the sea, searching for treasures and hunting for fish using your spear gun. Your time underwater is limited by the oxygen you have in your tank. The longer you swim, the more air is drained, and it goes down even faster every time you take damage or any time you dash. It's an incentive to swim safely and only dash when you need it. Fortunately, scattered around the underwater world are oxygen refills you can use to top up your air tank so you can keep on exploring. However, if you ever do run out of oxygen, it's game over. Well, it's dive over, because you'll simply be brought back to your boat. Your only punishment being that you'll lose all your collected items and fish except for one of your choosing. It's a fair punishment for losing track of your oxygen levels, and at least if you did catch that rare fish or find some specific item you wanted, you can select it as your one to keep and not lose it. To fish, you simply point your spear gun at your target and fire. If your damage is strong enough, you'll snag the fish in one go. If not, you'll have to hit them a few times over. And sometimes you'll even have to beat them in a game of tug of war by successfully completing a mini game that's chosen by the spear gun you have equipped. One involves rapid button presses, another involves joystick manipulation, and yet another one requires you to press a correct sequence of buttons. It's a fun way to add a bit of interactivity to catching some of the bigger fish. And if your spear gun isn't enough, you can attack fish with an assortment of melee weapons you'll find in weapon boxes around the sea. Or you can even shoot them with an assortment of guns you'll discover as the game progresses. Managing oxygen levels while exploring the sea, capturing fish, and finding treasures makes for a very satisfying gameplay loop. And if that's all there was to the game, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I could honestly dive with Dave for hours on end and not get bored. It's just so well made and so fun to explore, discover, and capture the inhabitants of the giant blue hole. That being said, Mint Rocket, the devs for Dave the Diver, didn't stop at just diving. Every evening, Dave steps out of his scuba gear and joins Chef Bancho in the sushi restaurant as its manager. When that happens, the game changes from a relaxing adventure game into a resource management style simulation game. As manager, you get to choose the menu for the evening, not only selecting what to serve, but how many of each dish to offer. This adds a nice element to the resource management gameplay, because if you set aside too few menu items, then you'll leave profits on the table as your restaurant will run out of food in the middle of service. But if you reserve too much, you'll lose the remaining inventory after the day ends. It's a fun challenge to try and dial in the menu quantity to meet your restaurant's growing needs. At first, it's just you and Chef Bancho manning the restaurant, but as you get more popular, it becomes harder and even impossible to meet the demands of all the patrons. But that's when you can hire help. You can hire waiters to wait tables and additional cooks to help Bancho in the kitchen. Once you're staffed up, you simply have to supervise and let your staff run the food service like a well-oiled machine. It's quite fun to watch. As the game progresses, you'll eventually unlock more resource management mini-games to run a vegetable farm, a fish farm, and even a chicken farm for eggs. Now you might be thinking, okay, so this game has some relaxing deep-sea diving gameplay coupled with some fun resource management, but that's probably everything, right? Well...
But wait! There's more!
Like a bridge in a song, every so often the game switches to a story interlude that throws in another game mechanic or playstyle just to change things up. Sometimes you'll have to sneak around like in Metal Gear Solid, or play to a rhythmic beat like Guitar Hero. Or by downloading a free DLC, you even get to play as Godzilla. These segments come out of the blue and last only a handful of minutes, but they're a fun change of pace and keep you guessing as to what else is in store. Dave the Diver has a robust upgrade system. Basically, every mechanic is upgradable, and that's awesome. Most upgrades can be purchased using money you earn from running Bancho Sushi or selling rare items you found on your adventures in the sea. Some upgrades require a combination of money and items, but in general, if you have the cash, you can get the upgrade.
Sold!
You can improve your diving suit so you can swim deeper, you can increase the size of your air tank so you can swim longer, you can upgrade your knife and spirit gun to do more damage, you can even train your restaurant staff to increase their serving and cooking abilities. Seeing all that could be upgraded and improved made me feel like a kid in a candy store. I browsed through the options, noted the enhancements I wanted and their cost, and set myself goals to earn the money to snag them. The upgrade system really is the cherry on top of the already engaging gameplay loop. It promotes that feeling of wanting to play just a little more, to earn just a little more money, to purchase the next upgrade, which then makes you excited to test the upgrade by playing some more, and thus restarting the loop. Dave the Diver is visually composed of 2D billboard style sprites rendered in a low poly 3D world. And if I had to use only one word to describe it, I would say charming.
Oh, God.
It's not cutting edge graphics nor the best sprite art you'll see, but it does have a sense of style and it wears it boldly and proudly. The underwater world is vibrant and full of life that entices you to explore every nook and cranny, and each fish and plant are perfectly designed to fit the style and charm of the game's world. The character sprites shine the most during VIP sequences in the restaurant where you're tasked with serving special dishes to impress. The VIP patron designs are fun and I'm gonna say it again, immensely charming. It's always a joy to see those wacky characters walk into Bancho Sushi making their culinary demands. This game might not win any awards for best graphics, but that doesn't take away from the fact that Dave the Diver is simply a pleasure to watch. Ever since it came out, I've heard nothing but good things about Dave the Diver. Reviews were glowing, store clerks and video game shops recommended it, even a friend of mine played it last year and loved it. So needless to say, my expectations going in were pretty high. And oftentimes going in with high expectations is a surefire way to be disappointed.
Gotcha. Can't win, don't try.
Well, this is one of the few times my high expectations were not only met, but exceeded. Dave the Diver is every bit as fun, as charming, as addicting, and satisfying as I had heard. It deserves all the praise it's gotten around the web and more. That's why I'm giving Dave the Diver my first ever 5 out of 5.
Damn!
Does this mean it's a perfect game with zero flaws? Not exactly, but I do think it's exceptionally well done and whatever minor flaws it has are too small to take away from its enjoyment. It gets way more right than it does wrong. I was genuinely surprised at how many story interludes and unique gameplay twists kept being introduced right up until the end of the main story. It never felt slow or dull, and despite the fact that the majority of the game involves diving, fishing, collecting, and repeat, it never felt repetitive. I feel the upgrade system was key to things always feeling fresh because as soon as you reached the limits of your current Dave's abilities, you'd find yourself a couple of restaurant shifts away from a new upgrade that would rebalance how you played and allow you to go to new areas. And once you reached the new and unexplored waters, the thrill of adventure renewed once more. So I'm not saying the game is perfect in all aspects, but I am saying it has a nearly perfect gameplay loop. Before I wrap things up, I do want to address a claim I see attached to Dave the Diver quite often on the interwebs. And it's that Dave the Diver is an indie game. In fact, it was nominated for Best Independent Game at the Game Awards in 2023. Well, Mint Rocket, the developers of Dave the Diver, is a subsidiary of Nexon. For those who don't know, Nexon is the owner of MapleStory, a free-to-play online game that's been around since the early 2000s and is reported to have grossed over $3 billion in revenue since its inception. Also, Nexon, as a company in general, is reported to earn over $500 million in profit each year. And just to be clear, Mint Rocket did not develop Dave the Diver and then get purchased by Nexon. Dave the Diver was developed internally by Nexon, and after the game was released, Nexon took the creative team and spun them off into Mint Rocket. So from the get-go, the team had access to hundreds of millions of dollars of funds to make the game. It's about as indie as BTS is a plucky little boy band formed by 7 friends who just decided to sing and dance together. The reality is, it was created by a well-funded group of very talented individuals working for a large-ass company bent on making great games. And no shade here, they succeeded. I think Dave the Diver is the rare game that'll appeal to casual and hardcore gamers alike. Diving into the sea and exploring the world will be fun to most anyone with even the slightest interest in games. And if all you wanted to do was swim around, discovering new fish and trying to catch them, you could do that for hours and have a lot of fun. But if you're looking for more of a challenge and want to catch the largest fish or the deadliest sharks, if you want to upgrade to the most badass weapon and turn Dave into an unstoppable diving machine, or if you want to help make Bancho Sushi the #1 sushi restaurant in Dave's world, the fun gameplay loop and upgrade system allow for that too. It's a game for anyone that likes games. If you're watching this video and made it this far, there's a good chance you're either one of my friends showing me support, and I thank you for it, or you consider yourself a gamer, and if so, I recommend you put Dave the Diver on your list to play. Or better yet, go get it right now. I'm willing to bet you'll have a great time with it, and you just might have found your new favorite game.